All right, Rabosai, good morning. Good morning. Let us begin. We are beginning today, Mir Hashem, Perek Gimel in Oros HaTeshuva. I apologize. I just posted it on the chat. I'm sorry. I forgot to post it last night. So this is also incredibly interesting. So if Kook writes as follows, the title of the chapter is Tshuva Pratis Mifareshas Utshuva Stamis Klalis. Okay, so let's analyze these terms. So if Kook says as follows. Yesh tshuva mechuvenes, neged chet miyuchad o chatoim rabin. So there's one form of tshuva where it's what we'll call targeted tshuva. What is targeted tshuva? Targeted tshuva means that it is a tshuva that is focused ultimately again on one particular sin or a couple of particular averos. Doesn't have to be one of those, but the point over here is I know that I did something in particular, and now I am working on the process to address that particular avera. Va'adam samchat o nochach panav. A person goes ahead and puts his avera opposite. In other words, nochach panav literally means I'm cognizant of it. I'm cognizant of my avera. I know exactly what it is that I did, and ultimately, again, umitztaer umischaret alav. I have remorse over it. Umitztaer al asher nokesh b'pachachet. And I feel sad. I'm distressed. I'm upset. I'm disappointed. I'm in pain over the fact that I got ensnared in sin. The Navose, if you notice over here, and puts the Mechaber puts this out in the footnote as well. So remember, the Rambam in Hilchos Tshuva goes ahead and outlines the different steps for tshuva. So the first step for tshuva, according to the Rambam, of course, is hakara sachet. It has to be a recognition of what I did. If there's no recognition, then there's no ability to truly do tshuva. And then after that, there's a sense of charata, a sense of remorse. So I just want to point out that if you notice, Rav Kook has many of the same similar types of steps, right? So in Rav Kook's model, ultimately, again, his idea is samchato nochach panav. I put my sin opposite my face, which literally means awareness, cognition, recognition. I've done something wrong. Mischaret alav, remorse. Mitztaer. Now, it's interesting that in Rav Kook's model, so charata, remorse, isn't just that, okay, I feel bad that I did it, but it's that the actual commission of the sin causes me pain. I'm sad. I'm sad about this. I'm sad that I got ensnared in this avera. V'nafsham mitapesas v'ola atshu mishtachrer me'ha'avdos hachatois. And again, what's my goal? And this is really beautiful. I will say my goal, ultimately, is to unentangle my soul from the snare, from the net of sin. When I commit an avera, we know this just from our own lives. When I commit an avera, so that avera, like, it encompasses me, it engulfs me. I'm like stuck in the net. I'm stuck in this sin. What's the beauty of tshuva? Tshuva is the process through which I free myself from the snare, from the trap of sin. That's the most beautiful thing. And once I get myself out of that net, then suddenly I have the ability to expand. I have the ability to grow. I have the ability to see things in a different way, to go in different directions in life. So this process of tshuva, says Rav Kook, is, again, there's recognition of the sin, there's remorse for the sin, a sense of pain that I'm wrapped up in this sin. And then once I have that, then I can begin the process of actual tshuva, or that is the process of actual tshuva. But the goal ultimately is to free myself from the net of sin. Achu mishtachrer meha'avdos hachatois. This is beautiful. Until I free myself from the servitude of sin. I will say, what an incredibly profound formulation. Because sin is a form of servitude. I'm a servant to my wants. I'm a servant to my desires. I'm a servant to all different kinds of things. So what's tshuva? Tshuva, in a certain sense, is freedom. It's freedom. I am freeing myself from the shackles of sin. Umargish bekirbo as acheros hakdosha. So really, the lashon over here is so beautiful. And with tshuva, with real tshuva, I really begin to feel freedom, holy freedom. Hani'ima ma'od v'nafsho anala. And again, it's so pleasant. You know, the soul itself, the neshama itself, of course, on the most basic level, yearns to be free. Tshuva allows my soul to feel that sense of freedom. V'hu holech u'misrapeng. And ultimately, I continue forward and I'm healed. And I will say, Rav Kook is bringing like a lot of different elements into this as well. He quotes over here in the footnote a beautiful Gemara Maseches Yuma, where the Gemara says, "Gidol tshuva shemavia refuah liolam." Tshuva is beautiful. Why? Because ultimately, again, it brings healing to the world. So there's a lot of discussion about this, but the Maharal of Prague, has a beautiful work called Nesiv HaTeshuva, which really means the path of tshuva. And he explains, what does this mean that tshuva mavia refuah liolam, that tshuva brings healing to the world? What does that even mean? And the Maharal says so beautifully, he says that, what does it mean when a person is ill? Right? If a person is ill, that means there's a disruption to the natural, normal flow of their body. What does healing do? The goal of healing is to restore you to what you were. That's the goal, to restore you to your baseline that you were before the episode. So amazingly enough, Rav Kook says that we have, the Maharal explains that we have inherent Kedusha. And when we sin, we kind of lose our way. And then what tshuva does is tshuva is able to restore us to that baseline that we were at before the sin. Now, of course, tshuva has the ability to do so much more than restore you to your baseline. But at least on a basic level, there is the possibility of tshuva to literally bring me back to what I was before the actual chet. So Rav Kook here is just extolling all the virtues of tshuva. So first of all, even before we go on, just seeing the beautiful way that Rav Kook writes about tshuva makes you want it more than anything. Right? This notion, because we could all relate to this idea that when I commit an Avera, I'm stuck. I'm really stuck. I'm ensnared in this. And I feel sad about it. And there's pain over it. And all these different realities that Rav Kook is describing are things that we actually feel in our own lives. And the notion about the ability to engage in a process that frees me from the servitude of sin, that allows me to actually feel the freedom of holiness, that allows me to heal myself, is incredible. Is incredible. He goes on. V'zare Oros shel shemesh hachesed. Now he gets even a bit more poetic. And literally again, the beams of light of the sun of chesed, right? Of the sun of kindness, chesed. Turn the page to page 9, to page 20. Chesed Elyon, ultimately the highest form of chesed, Sholchim Elav Es Kavehem, V'holech U'misasher, ultimately again will send their beams towards him, and the individual ultimately again will move forward and be enriched. Now, what is this referring to? What are these beautiful beams of light of chesed? So remember again, mostly if you think about it, what's the greatest chesed in this world? The greatest chesed in this world is tshuva. The ability to right my mistakes, the ability to fix my wrongs, the ability to go ahead and take everything that I've messed up in life and rechannel it and retool it and redirect it and make it into something different is the most incredible thing in the world. So when a person becomes about tshuva, a person engages in the process of tshuva, he begins to feel that light. And Abba said the imagery is so profound, right? You go outside on a sunny day, and if you lift your face to the sky a little bit, and you feel the warmth of the sun. It is such a beautiful and comforting feeling. Rav Kook says that's the feeling of tshuva. That's the feeling of tshuva. If you engage, it's so beautiful. If you engage in the process, ultimately, again, as you're being healed, you will feel those beautiful rays of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's chesed shining down upon you. Chesed aliyom, good. Holech u'mismali oneg v'deshen pnimi. This is so beautiful. And as you keep going through life, right, as you keep going through this process of tshuva, you'll find yourself filled with joy and inner satiety. Tshuva is fulfilling. Tshuva is fulfilling. When I am engaged in the process of tshuva, even before I reach the finish line, right, even before I become quote unquote like a Baal tshuva, but I'm in the process of tshuva, there is such a sense of inner happiness and such a sense of inner fulfillment. Now, interestingly enough, he says, Yachad im lev nishbar v'nefesh shecha miduka shehu margish bekirbo shegam regesh ze'atz. Okay, so first of all, the Rav Kook says, and by the way, in addition to all of these feelings of happiness and joy and everything else, there is something else, which is an inner pain. There is this internal heartbreak that a person has. Why Abosai says, Shigam regesh ze atzmo, hano'elo lefi masavo, mosif lo oneg ruchani pnimi, ushlemos amitis. All right, so we're going to stop with this for today. We'll pick up with this piece more tomorrow. Abosai, we're going to see something really beautiful. Rav Kook describes over here how the heartbreak is part of the process. Abosai, interestingly enough, you only experience feelings of sadness over something if it was important to you. Right? Just think about this for just a moment, right? If I had a nickel in my pocket and I lost the nickel, again, Baruch Hashem, I would venture to say for most of us, no one's giving it a second thought. Okay, whatever, I don't know what I do with my nickel, right? Or think about some little thing in life where if it happens, it just doesn't matter to you. Why? Because again, the nickel is not significant. It's not significant. I lose a $100 bill, that's significant. That's significant. Rav Kook says something amazing. Even as I go through the process of tshuva, and ultimately, again, I feel all of this beautiful inner satiety, the rays of divine chesed, all this beautiful stuff. At the same time, in the process of tshuva, there is always a sense of heartbreak and sadness. It's always there. It's always there. Why is it always there? Because at the end of the day, I've made poor decisions, compromised parts of myself. And as a result, there are parts of me that are still damaged. Now again, tshuva could repair it. Tshuva could heal it. But Rav Kook says, those feelings of pain are beautiful. Why are they beautiful? Because I recognize that the severity of what I did, which means that my neshama is important to me. My personalistic holiness is important to me. If a person sins and they're like, whatever, so what does that show? Number one, they don't understand the gravity of what they've done. Number two, they don't understand the impact of what they've done. Number three, they don't understand the nature of the neshama that they have. But if a person feels pain when they sin, in the aftermath of sin, even in the process of tshuva, Rav Kook says, that's beautiful. Because that shows you really understand what you've done. You really understand what you've compromised. And what that also means is, you will, Emir Hashem, do the work you need to do in order to get yourself back to where you were and become even better. All right, so we'll stop over here for today. More on that piece. We'll pick up with that piece in Hashem tomorrow. Shkoyach.